Welcome into Carpool with Ben, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how many times when filming these episodes, when I used to be able to do them in the car, to meet my guest, I would have to drive past one of the most famous landmarks, not only in Rhode Island, but in New England. And quite honestly, it's been featured in various places, TV shows. It's been the subject, I believe, of a Jeopardy question at one point, and if not, it should be. Ladies and gentlemen, from Big Blue Bug Solutions, Brian Goldman. Brian, it's great to see you.
Great seeing you, Ben. I love your setup.
Well, I'm trying here. You know, it's what we can do. Right behind you, we should note, are the original blueprint drawings of the world famous Nibbles Woodaway. Right there, those are the actual blueprints. Tell me the story where you found those again.
It was great. So when I first came into the business there, and I came into our Providence office after moving up through the ranks, we didn't have any space. We were growing and there was no space. So my father said, okay, I'm going to clear out this more or less closet for you, and that'll be your office. So I said, all right, that's fine. There was a big enough closet. And so we're going through it and taking everything out. And I said, Dad, what is this? He goes, I've been wondering where those have been for so long. And prints of the bug. And so I said, okay, we got to frame it. We're putting it up on the wall. And we were so excited.
That is awesome. They look great. It's really cool. Nibbles Woodaway, of course, has been up atop the Big Blue Bug building there, right there in South Providence for many years. There was a time where it was removed to be refurbished. And that summer, a lot of people who were trying to get to Cape Cod ended up in New Hampshire. Just because they thought they were going on the way. And it's not like you would even think that, you know, once you think you would say, oh, gee, well, I crossed into Massachusetts. Well, it's kind of equidistant between 195 and 95 from that point of how far it is till you cross into Massachusetts. You just didn't think about it. And sure enough, they ended up way up 95 because they always knew to pick up 195 after the Big Blue Bugs. Casey Neistat even tweeted about it. I mean, who's a bigger social media mogul than him about the Big Blue Bugs. So you guys certainly have a unique and a wonderful landmark there.
It's amazing how much everyone has taken to it. I think, fortunately, we live in a quirky state, and so they take to quirky things. And certainly, the Big Blue Bug has been one of them. And it was amazing because my father, he was petrified when it first went up. He thought, you know, are people going to like it? Is it going to be an eyesore? Are they not going to want to see it? And within like a week, he knew he had made the right decision because he said, absolutely, everybody loved it.
No, absolutely. And it's withstood, hurricanes, blizzards, snowstorms. And, you know, it's great. Now you actually have a plush Big Blue Bug character as well. You have a mascot, the stunt double for Nibbles Woodaway. There's the plush toy of him right there. You got the collector cards, everything.
I should mention these are not in production yet. This is the prototype. So
Very
we're
good.
waiting on final versions, and then hopefully we'll have those. We've had others in the past that have done really well, so we were excited to be able to bring it back. You know, it's funny, our business is pest control. We are focused on pest control. All the decisions we make are pest control related, whether it be vehicles on the road or the services that we do. And because the bug has taken on such a unique symbol of the state, we realize we have to do other stuff. So I didn't know how to make a stuffed animal. And so all of a sudden you start learning these new things. And fortunately, there's been a lot of people that have helped us along the way.
The Cardi brothers didn't know how to put themselves into on a plush toy, but they made that happen. So, you know, it's all part of the fun business. This has been a family business that was started by your grandfather. I recently had a discussion with your dad, and we got a little deeper into the story that it was actually your great-grandfather who kind of helped him get off the ground. Your grandfather, when he decided he wanted to start this business, it's gone to your father, now to you. Talk to me just about the legacy of the Goldman family and just how it's evolved over the years and just how it's grown.
We have a great family story, and I love telling it. In the late 1800s, early 1900s, my great-grandfather, James Goldman, was living on the border of Russia and Poland. And right around then is when there was a huge, huge wave of anti-Semitism coming through. And obviously, a lot of it led to World War II and the Holocaust. And my great-grandfather saw a lot of what was going on and knew he had to create a better life for him and his family. And so he got on a boat. came through Ellis Island, ended up settling in Rhode Island. And when he got here, all he had was a nickel in his pocket. And with that nickel, he bought a pail, a sponge, and an apple because he was hungry. He sat down, ate the apple, and then he started going door to door, offering to wash people's windows. Wow. And slowly but surely, he turned it into the biggest window washing company in Rhode Island. And it was a true American dream story. It was amazing what he was able to do. And then he ended up having 5 kids. He brought over a lot of the family that was still over in the Europe area. And eventually the family was large enough that he knew his oldest son, my grandfather, Leonard Goldman, had to go into a different industry, different business. He said, we're having too much family that's coming in. We need to be able to diversify. We need more options for everybody. It's not big enough to sustain, this large of a family. And so he said, we have some distant relatives in pest control. Well, I hear it's a great industry. Why not? And so that was in 1935. And over the years, all the other businesses tended to subside, and the pest control one was the one that really took off and is still going really well today. And it's a great industry. It really is.
A lot of people hear the word pest control and they think it's just you go through and you eliminate, but there's a lot of science that goes behind it. There's a lot of realization, like, for example, bees, those can be a pest, sure, but they are vital to just survival for so many different species out there. And and the same thing in a lot of different areas. As you've gotten into the industry, because you're relatively young in it compared to obviously your dad was in it for a long time, your grandfather, the changes and the thought process as it's gone through over time, that must be something really cool to see develop, and as it continues to develop, because really you guys use some of the most state-of-the-art ways and the safest ways to help people live comfortable lives.
Absolutely. And the science part of it is the most fascinating aspect. We have a lot of people that come work here that are college educated in the science-based field. And you start talking to them and breaking it down. That's the stuff that gets them going. They love that. And I certainly love every aspect of it, because the more we've been able to learn on a science-based approach, the more we're able to apply certain things to that exact target pest. And so some of it, people think, oh, you're just spraying to get rid of everything. And no, there's a lot of the stuff that we use, a lot of the products that are designed specifically for an ant, specifically for a termite. It's not just something that you're trying to get rid of everything. And for example, when we do mosquito and tick treatments, all of our staff are trained on how to make sure you're avoiding flowering plants and certain things that will affect the honeybee colonies, because that's something that is obviously a big issue. And it's something that I think as people start to work with us, they realize we care as much about the environment as anyone else, if not more so, because we understand the negative impacts it can have. We see what it does. And so we have, everyone here, they're animal lovers, you name it. Even though we're, certainly getting rid of squirrels or bats or raccoons that are, in someone's house, we're doing it in the most environmentally safe way and the most responsible way for those species of animals. It's important, and we want to make sure we're doing right by them. And there's a lot of science-based approaches that we do. There's a lot behind it. And it's important for everyone to realize that you can be in pest control and still have a heart.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a great way of putting it. Let's touch the heart subject for just a second, from a few different ways. The Goldmans literally have a heart of gold. You folks are so involved and entrenched in the community with just so many different things that you're doing. And then there's the heart element. Let's talk about your dad for a second, who is enjoying retirement right now. And as he was cruising ever so gently towards retirement, a couple of years ago, he started having some health issues. The good news is, well, spoiler alert right now, he's doing great. I just talked with him recently, had a great conversation, but here's truly a man that, it's kind of like he saw 2020 coming down the pipe and he said, oh yeah, really? Hold my beer. Hold on. I'll show you a battle. He's gone through the ringer, but thankfully, fortunately, he is on the mend. He's doing well, and getting stronger and healthier every day. But talk to me about, taking over for your dad over the past couple of years, not only you, but your brother Scott and your brother Kevin.
Yeah, so Scott and I have been in the business for a while, and learning from my father over the last decade, as he's really given us a lot more responsibilities. And I think he's been really excited because the business has been growing a ton. We've been doing a lot of neat and clever and different, unique things, whether it be out in the field or with our staff. We really want to create that more futuristic company where you're really taking it to the next level. You talk science-based approaches, and it really excites my father to see it. Some of the things that we've been doing, and he always said, "Listen, I'm an old timer. You know, I don't know if I would have the knowledge base to be able to do that, but I love what you guys are doing. Keep doing it." And so he's been really excited. And yeah, he did have his major health scare last year, and it kind of helped him towards retirement. He's been enjoying it, but it's funny. He still comes back when he can, or says hi to everybody on our Zoom calls now because nobody's really in our office anymore. Everybody's working remotely. And but everybody loves seeing him. He is easily the most beloved man in the company. Everybody loves seeing him. He's just such a good person, and I've learned so much from him that we feel good that we're ready as we continue moving forward.
That's awesome. Just to round out the family side of things, your mom was also working there for a while. Is she officially retired altogether, or is she?
She handles the stuff that it makes your head spin.
Okay.
No, we went over it very clearly. Dad, go off. You can retire, no problem. Mom, you're here to you can't retire.
We need you.
Yes, I do not want to have to deal with the stuff that she deals with. When you talk about mountains of paperwork and everything else, she is on it. She is so good at it. She's not allowed to retire now.
Well, I'm sure she'll be heading that way pretty soon. Once she starts seeing that places, it's easier to travel, and the health concerns of COVID and everything have totally subsided. I have a feeling you might want to start lining up the army that will replace her, because something tells me they're going to want to go see some well-deserved time off and enjoy a lot of stuff out there. Also, there is a brother who lives in that unfortunate place called New York and drives a Tesla and whatever. So what's his name?
So my youngest brother's James. He's in the IT field. He was a chief technology officer for a big startup company, and
Wow.
He's been doing really well. And I certainly always pick his brain when we talk websites and everything like that. He's a source of knowledge for that. And then our oldest brother, Kevin. He was a big time lawyer in Boston for a while, and now he's come into the business, and he's starting out just like we did in the field, learning it from the ground up. And so he's been on the road. He's got a route. He's going into commercial stops all day long and just learning the business inside and out.
The road for you folks is all the way from Maine right on down into Rhode Island, in Connecticut. You have a huge presence in Massachusetts, Worcester specifically, but obviously you have a huge, between the commercial accounts and the residential and everything else. What's kind of your area of operation, if you had to put a nutshell on it?
New England.
Okay.
So our new slogan, our new branding is "We are New England's pest experts."
Okay.
So if there's a problem in Portland, Maine, or if it's a problem in Orange, Connecticut, we're there. And so we now have 5 branches. We got one in Providence, one in the Shrewsbury, Worcester area, one in New Hampshire, Portland, Maine, and then also we just opened up one in Orange, Connecticut. So we're really excited, and it's really helped spread the big blue bug. We were always so focused on Rhode Island, and so to be able to have a larger footprint, and what really has surprised us is how many people knew us. We always knew we were a landmark. We always knew people in Rhode Island would know, kind of who the bug is. But to hear people up in Bangor, Maine saying, "Oh, I go by there all the time when I'm heading to New York City," or whatever else, it's really neat to see.
Your family, especially you, I know, are avid sports fans. You were a television sports reporter for a while down in Texas at one point, and that was what you did right after college. But being a sports fans, you have a big blue bug. You have Nibbles Whittaway over there at the Portland Sea Dogs up there in Portland, Maine, right over one of the big walls there, and then
15-foot inflatable.
Wow.
So right field, and it's a 15-foot inflatable, and it really stands out. We get excited every time, and eventually we're gonna have to have some contests if someone can hit a home run and actually hit the bug.
I like that. And then coming this baseball season, the new Worcester Red Sox, there is the Big Blue Bug dugout, which is, hosting the Worcester Red Sox, the Woo Sox, up there at Polar Park up in Worcester. That's exciting. And you actually had a chance. You've been to the park. I haven't. Okay, as of this date, you've been to the park. I haven't. Just so you know. And I'm the PA guy.
That is not right.
No, that's absolutely right. Take care of those that are the sponsors. We need you guys.
Yeah, so it's the only park I believe in the country that has seating like this, where it's an actual box of the party box, party section, right? Because when you think pest control, you think party, and
Sure.
so we got. Yep, and so we got our own little party section, and what makes it really neat is we're on the closer side than where the Woo Sox players are even sitting. And so someone can go in and rent out, I think they're still finalizing the number of seats, but it's going to be anywhere between 15 and 20 seats. And you rent out the section for the game. It comes with food. And it's a Big Blue Bug batter's box. It's literally right where the batter's circle is, where a Woo Sox player, before they go, while they're on deck, before they go up to the plate. And it's better seats than the players. Yeah. Like, you will have a better view than the actual players on the field. And there really is no other seats like it anywhere in the country. And so in a new ballpark and the new thing and having this brand new idea, we really got behind it. We were really excited. So, yep. Anyone who hopefully everyone can go to the games pretty soon, and they open up capacity as best as possible, as safely as possible. And people can enjoy the Big Blue Bug batter's box.
That is incredible. And I'm looking forward to seeing it myself for the first time. It's truly a special relationship you have there, and we're looking forward to it. Let's get back to the heart of things. You folks have been so involved, so ingrained in the community, just with the charitable, the nonprofit giving, the different organizations that are out there. You've worked with organizations like Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses around Toys for Tots time, and the different drives that they've done. You've worked with you name the charity, you've had a hand in it, but also you're now taking an even further step with this new initiative, the Taking Positive Action Committee, the TPAC, as it were. It seems like in today's world, everybody needs a PAC. You folks have the TPAC, the Taking Positive Action Committee. You're doing some food drives right now at your location, but also it kind of further formalizes the ROVAC, Remember Our Vets at Christmas, which was started by the legendary Tony DeJesus, even though he's a Yankees fan, the legendary Tony DeJesus, who for years has been on the radio, and he put this thing together, Remember Our Vets at Christmas, taking care of veterans. I mean, this is something so special. And I was there a couple of weeks ago for the first food drive. This is your staff. This is your employees. They're the ones that are really spearheading this, obviously with your blessing, but that's got to be something special for you.
That was, and certainly as the newer generation comes into the workforce, we realized how much that means to the newer generation. But at the same time, my father and the company as a whole has always done as much as we can for the community, and giving back was always a large part of who we were. But we never really talked about it. My father was always a very private man, humble. He did a lot for the community, but he never liked to talk about it because he always felt like that wasn't the right reason behind it. You know, the reason to do a good thing is because you want to do a good thing, not to get credit for it or draw attention to it. And we started to have a lot of employees that were saying, listen, we know you guys are doing all this nice things for the community. We want to be a part of it. And they really vocalized that really, really well and said, listen, this is something we really, really want. And out of a place that we're working with in a community of our peers, this is what we want. And so they formed the Taking Positive Action Committee. And basically, I've pointed them in some of the directions that we've done in the past, but they've taken it and run with it. And it's been absolutely fantastic. You mentioned the food drive for the Rhode Island Food Bank and Amos House. We also just put up lights for Goodnight Lights, which is a great thing with Hasbro Children's Hospital. 8:30 every night, lights throughout the Providence skyline to show their support for all the kids so they can go to the windows and see it, which was absolutely fantastic. We did a winter walk for the homeless in Boston. And one of the really neat things that we're starting this summer is for every single mosquito and tick service that we sell, annual service, we'll be donating a net to Africa to fight malaria. It's an organization called Nothing But Nets, and basically malaria transmitted by mosquitoes, mostly in Africa. A huge issue that they've been dealing with for a very long time. I know COVID has taken a lot of the headlines, but if you want to talk about something that's been really, really rough in a certain section of the world, it's certainly malaria in Africa. And so what they have is that to fight it is netting to put on top of the beds. They've one netting that has a little bit of pesticide built in, so if a mosquito lands on it, it won't be able to bite anyone. And so the netting goes over, it should, hopefully protect 2 kids every single night. And so it's this great organization called Nothing But Nets. We're actually working with the United Nations on it. And every time somebody purchases a mosquito and tick annual service with us, it will literally be going to fight malaria in Africa. And I think it's such a great organization. Nothing But Nets. You can, if you Google it, you'll see everything about it. It's really a great organization.
That is something really special. And, it just goes to show, I mean, obviously your family has just done so much wonderful stuff here in New England, Southern New England, just in our area. And now for you to take on that global approach, because really the pest control industry, you work on a global level in a lot of cases when you're consulting or learning about different species or learning about different treatments, learning about different ways to do your job. That's something really, really incredible. So Nothing But Nets, that's exciting. That's just a wonderful thing to think that, somebody getting a mosquito treatment around here can be helping making a global impact. That is really cool. Let's talk about Tony DeJesus for a second. I'm not done with that guy. It's kind of a concept that came up years ago that people may have scratched their heads. It's like, well, the guy goes on the radio every Saturday as a talk show, and you're going to answer people's questions for free, dole out free advice that could really come to you as a business, and you could, sustain business and do business. But this was something that that was started years ago. And it's just something really cool. Talk to me about the program.
Yep, 25 years going strong now, winning all sorts of awards. And my father always said, I don't know if Tony is a broadcaster or if he's a pest guy, because he's so good at both. And we feel so fortunate to have him. He's been here now 44 years. He is certainly a wealth of knowledge, and he loves it. He says he learns something new every day, which is what makes the pest control industry so great. And he does such a good job with it. And it's a great way to be a resource for the community, right? So everyone has questions, and we realize, he's answering all these calls in our office all the time. And sometimes it's stuff that, maybe they don't really need a pest control expert, and then maybe they do, but they just have some questions or just want some clues or hints, or should I grow a special plant that will avoid this type of insect? Or should I, put in sand into some of these areas to make it less desirable for chipmunks? And we get all sorts of questions. But my favorite part is whenever somebody asks something and then Tony says, okay, now go to your cupboard, mix this, and then take this and mix that. And he makes it a whole MacGyver situation. And before you know it, he is able to solve somebody's problem with exactly what they already had in their house. It's just in the cabinets, and you just got to mix it a certain way.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And really, it's something that I had mentioned too, is if you have kids that are, in science classes, it's great Saturday morning listening, because he talks so many times about the science of it, and the questions, and he teaches more than he gives tips. I feel like the tips are great, but he's really teaching people so much about that world of what is it, insectology? What is that official word?
Entomology.
That one. Yeah. Good luck spelling that. So there's a reason why that word's not used on Wheel of Fortune. I'm just going to say, all right. I'm just, just going to put it out there. But nonetheless, Brian, Big Blue Bug Solutions, we love you. We love your entire family. You folks are really you're right up there with, the folks that run Benny's, the Cardi's family, all the Feinsteins, everybody who's been such an impactful name here, the folks that run Takeo, the Vibeco, all these different families, the Ocean State Job Lot people, all these families in Rhode Island, Southern New England that have cemented a legacy of just great stuff. your family is absolutely in that legacy and that hall of fame, and as a community, we're forever indebted to you for that. Folks, if you want to learn more about Big Blue Bug Solutions, just go to their website, follow them on social media, just call them, and say hi. That's fine, you can do that, but tune into Tony said.
You would be surprised how many people do just that.
Well,
we get all sorts of people calling, just saying, hey, I just have some questions about the bug. Yeah. And we give them a history about it, and it really is fantastic. I love those calls. I do.
That is the special gem that is Big Blue Bug Solutions. Brian, it was good to see you. I'm sure we will see each other safely distant soon. All the best and health to your family, and we will, folks, go follow them. You're not going to be disappointed.
Thank you, Ben.